Tagashi announced he's returning to the Hunter manga again. Let's see how many chapters released this year. Imagine just one per year, or even two. Now that I think about it, has anything else related to Hunter come out lately? Let's see, let's check out rumor number 47 that the Hunter x Hunter anime will return. Let's see, what's this? Wait, a Hunter x Hunter game by Arc System Works? What happened to my Twitter feed? Where are the people who always ask me about Hunter to tell me about this? I'll just add it to the cart and see. Oh wait, Arc System Works is just distributing it? Oh, let's see, if they're distributing it, I guess it's because it meets their quality standards. Let's see. At least it's an official Hunter game in Spanish. I could spend 15 euros on this game instead of dropping 60 euros each time. Remember when anime-based video games used to be terrible? Don't worry, little viewer. You don't need to remember we're still here. Unless you're Dragon Ball or have a bunch of girls behind you, horse. That's just how anime game releases are these days. So, it's been a while since I made a video talking about an anime video game. Here, it's the Jutsu Kaisen video game, which met every standard on the typical anime game checklist, which was made only so that the most hardcore and dumb fans of the series would spend their money. The game was unremarkable, and I still recall how bland it felt. Everything was bland: the story, menus, sound, and graphics. The whole game seemed to have been built based on the law of minimum effort. And, well, after that we had several anime-based releases which were interesting. We had a Kimetsu no Yaiba Mario Party, which absolutely no one cared about. A Spy X Family game that I didn't even really understand what it was about. We had a Sandland game, Sparking Zero, a Death Note game similar to Among Us, and the Bleach game Rebirth of Souls. So we can say that the thing with anime video games doesn't go very far. Visually appealing games, but you mostly need to be a big fan of the series to really enjoy them. And even that might not be enough. Sandland is a fun game that doesn't need prior knowledge of the original. The Bleach game also seems pretty good. Of course, it also suffered from the typical modern syndrome of being completely broken on day one, but it seems like they've already fixed it or something like that. What happened recently with an anime-based game is enough to make you cry, excluding mobile games. Hunter x Hunter hadn't had any video game on the market since 2012, obviously talking about games based on its own IP. Since there's Jump Force, wherein Finn appears, although it's not like being in Jump Force is something to brag about, right? Failed online game, shut down for good. Number 47. As I said, Hunter x Hunter hadn't had a proper game since 2012. Only in 2025 did we get the first ever Hunter x Hunter video game officially translated into Spanish. Well, it's just that we had gone more than 10 years without a video game from the franchise. But the few games that did exist were exclusive to Japan, and obviously, of course, they were only in Japanese. So how is the little fighting game based on the Hunter franchise? It's a piece of crap, so that's a good summary. It's a piece of crap. Honestly, after seeing the trailers and images on Steam, I expected this game to be mediocre, but not this bad. Let's address the main issue. 60 euros, seriously? Do you know how many Elden Rings I can buy with 60 euros? Exactly, just one. But anyway, damn, even Guilty Gear, which is also from Arc System Works, is 40 euros, and obviously it's a billion times better. I really like Hunter. You have no idea how much money I've wasted on games that turned out to be garbage. But this, right? I don't even know what it is. Oh my god, Concord, if you were here, even you would only cost me 40 euros. Maybe it was a soulless game with poor character design, depressing gameplay, and no story. Your existence may have been short and silly, but at least it wasn't 60 euros. Tell Concord I forgive him. Wait, there's more. Only 75 euros, you're welcome. Take home the Deluxe Edition, which includes a season pass featuring iconic characters like Neferpito, plus Character 2, Character 3, and Character 4. Oh, and also a Krollo skin with a shirt from when he fought the Zoldyck family. But be aware, this Deluxe Edition offers my favorite feature in modern games. Early access, letting you play 48 hours before everyone else, which is completely useless considering the game came out a month ago. But Will, if early access is gone, they must have lowered the price, right? Of course not. What do you think? That companies care about what consumers might spend? I love this era where video games no longer ask if you'd like to be a beta tester. Now they charge you for it. As you can see, I haven't even installed the game and there are already issues. What? That too? They also released exclusive skins, but exclusive to each platform. Ah, okay. At least Asaka's is cool. Well, that's it. Game bought, installed, and let's get to it. We have an opening that, well, I guess it could be worse. Although, to be honest with you, I was expecting at least an opening with lyrics or something epic. But, at least we have something. Right from the start, I'm noticing something. They're putting too much emphasis on the Greedo Island arc. There's barely any sign of the Chimera ants. Ants, chimeras. What chimera ants? Let's see what to expect. At least the game menu doesn't look like a 2000s digital versatile disc menu like the Jutsu game. I'll give them that. It looks more like the Bakugan game menu on PlayStation 2 or something similar. The game offers several modes: online battles, free mode, solo training, replay, collectibles, and story mode. Most of the modes are pretty much what you would expect, but I'd like to focus on a few of them. Single-player mode offers several game modes just for you, even if your Steam friends list is empty. You're too embarrassed to play online with others, so you enjoy these modes alone. Honestly, paying $60 just to play this offline means you have to be a bit special. If I see someone with this game in their library, several hours played, and no online achievements, damn that person. Even Jeffrey Dahmer wasn't that strange, you know? Like I was saying, we have several offline modes. The arcade mode, where we basically face off against several teams until we end up fighting a Meruem with maxed out stats. There's also Heaven's Arena mode, where we must win 31 consecutive fights. If we do it, we unlock Olympia Battle mode, which is like arcade mode, but harder. We also have a mode where we have to defeat certain random enemies within a specific amount of time. And a combo challenge, which I find the worst mode for one simple reason. These kinds of challenges in any other fighting game are supposed to help you learn how to use combos and also complete the challenge. 2 times 1. The problem is that this damn game only shows you the combo you need to do, but it doesn't teach you the buttons you have to press to perform that combo. Unlike most games where enemies have infinite health and you can keep hitting them until your combo works, here the enemy has very little health. And that's it, because for some reason, the goal of the combo challenge isn't to complete combos, it's just to defeat the enemy, which I think is fine. Dog son of a bitch stupid. Moving on to other game modes, online is much worse. Except for one magic word. Rollback netcode. What does it say? Don't know English? Don't worry. Are you afraid to talk to your trusted YouTuber? I'll explain to you in a super summarized way what the hell that word I just said means. It's a system that analyzes and predicts movements in online video games to prevent connection failures. It's something complex to explain, but simply put, this system allows, for example, fighting games to avoid so many latency issues or delays between players, creating a better experience. What happens if rollback netcode isn't used in a video game? Simple. You get Street Fighter V, where the latency is so horrible that it seems like your opponent is teleporting. And, well, speaking of online, as we play online matches, we'll get collectibles, which are Greedo Island cards, so you can only have 3 stances. You might love these collectibles for the Greedo Island arc, like them just for their appearance, or dislike them if you hate the arc. And do these cards remind you that arc exists? And speaking of arcs, it's time to talk about one of the most important aspects of these fighting games, the story mode. Let's see, do you remember when a lot of people used to say they played the story mode of the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games? It could be a pretty good way to get to know the original story from the manga, right? Without even having read it. Obviously in a very summarized and condensed way. Well, with this game, something similar happens, only the other way around. Here, instead of having 3D cutscenes that use the engine to tell the story of the anime or manga in a completely new way, we have frames from the anime, which you might think couldn't be any more low budget, even if they tried, but it seems like they actually managed to do it. Instead of just using scenes from the anime, they cut up those scenes and edit them to look like animations, making more work for themselves, but at 2 frames per second. I mean, look at that. Hisoka is in the foggy field at the start of the hunter exam, surrounded by hunters. And when our little clown, who's a fan of COD points, appears, we only have 3 frames. The hunter's standing, the hunter's kneeling about to fall, and the hunter's on the ground, and that's it. And it's like that with pretty much the whole story mode. But that's not the worst part. If you haven't seen the anime or know nothing about Hunter, this story mode will be extremely confusing. First, the story mode is extremely rushed. The Hunter exam arc lasts only 20 minutes and omits many key elements. The arc ends with Hisoka punching Gon and returning his badge. A punch, by the way. Then we go right to the start of Heaven's Arena. The exam's final fight, Killua's issue, and his rescue are entirely left out. None of the exam characters except the four main protagonists are on the roster, showing the developers had clear priorities. Greed Island is described in detail, while some things are left out as clear effort went into this arc, especially considering that 30% of the game's roster are Greed Island characters. The selection is absolutely criminal, cry criminal, cry criminal. And for some reason, the only characters, or rather the only playable character from that arc, is Meruem. Obviously, it's also so straight, but that's been the case from the start, so you might be wondering, how the hell? Did this game adapt the Chimera Ant arc? If there aren't any characters from that arc, not even the Royal Guard? Simple, in the same way I'm gonna tell you the story right now. This is like the Chimera Ant video, right? Chimera ants are very dangerous. The Paprika Sidori sent a group to investigate while the Ant King befriended a girl. Old Zoldyck launched a powerful attack and injured him. The king accepted the fight. Netero and Meruem fight. Netero and Meruem are very strong. Now you control Meruem and fight against Netero. Netero explodes. Meruem dies with the girl. Some ants ran away, gone, uninvolved, fought a cat, and wound up like a raisin. The hunters called some guys called Zodiacs, and Killua wants to help his friend Finn. What you just heard is one of the best arcs in Shonen, narrated by a video game that costs 60 euros. I'm not exaggerating. I encourage you to look up the full story on YouTube and watch that part of the story, which doesn't even take 5 minutes. Forget about the presidential election arc, it doesn't even exist. I think everyone has already forgotten it did. I know that this kind of game usually doesn't prioritize the story, but please, this doesn't make any sense at all. Even the damn Jujutsu game, and that's saying something, the damn Jujutsu video game, which we made a video about a long time ago, and we said it was an abomination against anime fans. Even that crap took the story mode more seriously than this? Yeah, it was a PowerPoint. But at least the people who made the story mode for the Jujutsu game knew about transitions and sound effects. The damn Hunter game and its story mode are literally screenshots with text on top. And the worst part is that even the Jujutsu game, at least it had the decency to have the voice actors speak during the story mode. Because that's another thing. The story mode in this Hunter game is completely silent, like movies from I don't know how many years ago. In story mode, you'll just hear grunts and incidental sounds. This is a disgrace. This game is outrageous. I'm surprised given it's from Arc System Works. They have lots of experience with fighting games. That they had the nerve to release this game at 60 damn euros, a video game that even at 20 euros isn't worth it. There's also something I haven't mentioned in this review, though you've likely noticed it in the background footage. It's that the graphics are pathetic. In the game's opening, surprisingly, it doesn't look bad at all, but when you get into combat, and above all, the damn ultimates of the characters, where should all the performance be? By making animations that are flashy for the player? Everything looks like crap. My theory's pretty simple, and I think we've all come to the same conclusion. And it's probably because this game had the same budget as what Miyazaki spent on sodas and pizza for the first day of work on the development of Elden Ring. I mean, very little money. Honestly, it's sad that after all these years, the first Hunter game released outside Japan turned out like this. Honestly, there's not much to say about it other than it's obvious that it's just a product. Just to take money from the old fans, that's it. It's confirmed. Neferpitou will join the roster, along with 3 more new characters. I think that's where it ends. I think the game can only be saved by a historic comeback, by reducing the price as much as possible to slightly boost sales. It's honestly sad that this game's peak Steam player count is under 300. The Concord even had more. They had around 700 people left. Still, is it fair to charge $60 for this? I think it's a complete insult, considering the number of gems you could buy for that same amount of money. By the way, I didn't mention the combat because I don't usually focus on that. I'm not a damn competitive maniac, addicted to combos, so I'm not the one to give a technical opinion about the game as a fighting game. And I also don't know if this game, with its characters and its combos, is well made enough to allow itself to enter a market like that. But what I can assure you is that the average player will see this, will see the price. And unless they're an extremely hardcore fan of Hunter, although I don't even think that would be enough, they're not going to buy it, not even dead. There are a lot of options on the market. Out there, with better graphics, stronger artistic design, more characters, and more established communities. Above all, there are many options out there at better prices. I have no idea what will happen with this video game. I thought Jutsu's game wouldn't last 2 months, but it's still here. It still gets updates. That's more than I expected for that game. After a year, now the hype hits hard. Tomorrow they'll announce the Jutsu game shuts down in 2 days. It could happen, even though I just checked. The last downloadable content was released in November last year, and Steam's concurrent players haven't exceeded 50 in over a year. So that's deader than I don't even know what. I suppose I can wait 12 more years for a good Hunter game or the anime's return. By that point, I don't see either of those things happening.